Often, most mistakes that you make while doing algebra is because of signed numbers, tricky signed numbers. And of course, let's talk about some signed numbers and get that stuff out of the way. So we'll say signed numbers. We know the simple facts. We say that 10, so we'll say that 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. But what if we run into we flip it around, it makes things a little harder. What if I say that now 3 minus 10 is equal to 7? 3 minus 10 is equal to 7. Now, when it comes to adding and subtracting signed numbers, I want you to think of every number. Forget about the operation of subtracting. Everything is going to be adding two signed numbers, adding a plus and a minus signed number, adding two negative signed numbers, or just adding two positive signed numbers. And I'll talk about that more in a second. But forget about the idea of subtraction. So when it comes to this one right here, I have 3 minus 10. So we're going to do what we call keep, change, change. We're going to keep the sign of this. We're going to change that subtraction to a plus. This was a positive, so I'm going to change it now into a negative. Negative. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding a positive number to a negative number. And the way we're going to think about that, is if I say that 3 plus negative 10, and I always say to my students, think about money. You have $3 in your pocket, but you owed me 10 from yesterday. You're going to give me the $3 in your pocket, but when we're all said and done, you're still going to owe me $7. So you're negative 7. So again, that's where the most mistakes will take place when we're doing algebra, is when we're working with signed numbers. So let's take a look at another one of these. This time we'll say that we have negative 5 plus negative 3. Negative 5 plus negative 3. Again, let's think about you owing me money. You borrowed $5 from me yesterday to pay for your lunch, and today you needed to borrow another $3 to pay for your lunch again. So now, since you keep owing me money, we're going to say that you lost 5, you lost 3, you've lost $8 altogether. We add up. So we're adding two signed numbers, two negative numbers. Okay? And then 4, so we have a negative 12 minus a negative 7. What is that going to give us? Again, so subtraction. When it comes to subtraction, we have to think of keep, change, change. So we're going to keep the negative 12 the way it is. I'm changing this negative, the subtraction, into a positive. I'm changing this negative into a positive. So now when we look at this, we say that it's, you owed me 12 from yesterday, but you do have 7 today. After you pay me back, you're still going to owe me $5. And the way I always like to think about it is, you rather have no money than owe somebody $5, $8, $7. And that could lead us into our next problem. Now, I have $6, but I owe my friend $6. Okay? So I have $6 in my pocket, but I owe my good friend $6. After I pay him back, what's left over? That's right, 0. You don't owe him anything. So we always say that we'd rather have no money than owe somebody money. Okay? So when it comes to adding and subtracting, so we're talking about adding and subtracting. So we're talking about adding and subtracting signed numbers. We must remember, when it comes to subtracting two signed numbers, that's when we remember keep, change, change. We keep the sign of the first, we change it to a subtraction problem, and we change the sign of the second one. Okay? And then when we forget about that there's an idea of subtraction in the world, so we're going to add, so right here is, you owe me $12, but you have 7 to pay me, you're still going to owe me $5. It's a negative. If you have 6, you pay me back 6, you owe me nothing. Okay? So the idea of signed numbers is very important in the world of algebra, and that's where most of the mistakes will be made when we're learning how to do algebra, is people messing up their signed numbers.